Hi, and welcome to this episode of the Will Podcast. I'm so happy to be here with Rachel Clar, who is the founder of Interconnected Us. And Rachel is passionate about helping women lawyers grow their practice so they can live the life that they want. Welcome, Rachel.
Hey, thank you so much. It's great to be here.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So tell us a little bit more about Interconnected Us.
You got it. So Interconnected Us. So I help women go from hiding to making waves. And so really what that means is stepping into their power and really optimizing their network so that they can make the next milestone really inevitable. And so part of what I do is looking inward. And part of what I do is looking around you and who you're surrounding yourself with and making changes that are going to help facilitate your inner work so that you can kind of bring it all together and get what you want. I want women lawyers to be in power and to be in charge of their lives.
Yeah, 100%. I just recorded a video that was like reflecting on when Trump was elected last time. So in June of 2016, I had the idea for Will, and then in November he was elected. And I remember thinking, oh shit, I can't do this now. What am I going to do? It's too risky. And then I just, some divine guidance dropped in and was like, no, there has never been a better time to help women lawyers unlock their power, step into who they are, whether that's in the practice or out. I mean, of course, there's a lot of good they can do with a law degree in the world, either as a lawyer or not practicing. Yeah.
That's right.
So will you give us an example of like how someone experiences that kind of work with you, that inner and outer work?
Yeah. Okay, so I have a number of different offers, different ways people meet me. So I have a bunch of events I do where I bring industry titans and people can come in to a space. It's just a free event for people to just get a little sample of what it's like behind the paywall with various things I do. But anyway, as they want to go a little deeper with me, some people choose to work with me one-on-one. And so that I call my roadmap. I keep kind of changing the word in front of it. Is it a networking roadmap? Is it a rainmaking roadmap? What exactly is it? But it's really a 3-hour strategy session where people get me. I'm a power connector, and I believe I have these, I don't mean to sound, like I think I'm a wizard or something, but, I feel like I have these special goggles about how to see connections between people and teaching people that. So I have a 5-part in the mastermind. The roadmap is one piece of the pie. It's a little sample. So you get a 3-hour intensive. Solve one problem. The mastermind is a 6-month ongoing program where you're in a room with your peers, and that's full spectrum. And so we're going over this 5-part framework of how you go from invisible to making waves. What are these 5 pillars that you need to up level your skills?
And so someone who does the roadmap, what kind of problem might they be coming to you with, and what do they walk out of that session?
Yeah, so there's really several different problems people come to me with. And the way my brain works, they're all ultimately a networking problem, but people don't always call it that. So there's people that come to me, they want help with a job search. People come to me, they want to build an advisory board or find a mentor. And they're not sure, how do I find someone? Who do I approach? What are the words I use? What are the scripts? All of that. I love doing that. That's so much fun. And related to that, the advisory board question is like, they might use the process to secure financing or to really get ready to approach people to finance their venture.
So that's if they're starting a business or a firm. Yeah.
So like, how do I articulate my vision so that my network responds? And so the right people respond to it. So that's really joyful. And then the last one, the most classic, of course, is the rainmaking purpose. And so using it to find your ideal clients, people will come to me, and it's so funny when I hear, oh, well, you don't know this particular niche market I'm in, so you probably don't have a network there. And I'm like, no. I'm a kid in a candy store. Tell me that you want me to understand, the example I always use is like the semiconductor market in Chicago, which I don't know anyone who does that. And but I'll start asking questions. I'm a very curious person, and I view our networks as completely infinite and abundant. It's just like a lawyer. I mean, I am a lawyer. It's just asking more questions to get a better sense of the landscape, and then the path becomes very, very clear. Yeah. And so it's a matter of building up our confidence. We're going to we always identify multiple paths. Yeah. And so that's really, really joyful. And that's just a little sample. So again, that's solving one problem. They're not sure about me. They're not sure. Or they've got a very discrete issue. Yeah. And the mastermind is where you want community. And that's really when you get 10X. That's
all right. Let's come back to the mastermind. I want to come back to that because you and I feel like our services are like Venn diagrams. I feel like we both serve women lawyers who want to be more passionate. I mean, I feel like I serve people who, first of all, are uncertain if they want to continue in their practice or their job. So they're not at the job searching stage yet, or they think they are, but really they actually really want to back up and get very clear on what it is they want to do. They want to figure out what else they could do.
Yep.
And so often they either want to leave law or the practice or their firm, or they want to stay more happily. And I think that's where we have this like overlapping, place of being, we both want to help women lawyers stand in their power and do work that's meaningful and fulfilling and allows them to have the kind of life that they want to live.
I totally agree. And Elena, I view us also as overlapping circles. And on a practical level, we are with mastermind type of format and the problem that we're solving and who we're helping. All true. But when I think of you and I, what's really unique about our connection is we both care very strongly about justice issues, and we both really use creativity. Creativity is really important to both of us. So that always comes to mind for me is like, Elena really gets me. I'm not code switching in any way, shape, or form with Elena.
All right, so let's not code switch at all here today. Let's do it. So tell us a little bit about your legal journey and like in your history of lawyering, because you're not actively lawyering to the best of my knowledge right now.
Totally not. No, I haven't for a long time. So I went to law school in Pittsburgh. I practiced very briefly after law school for a very left-wing labor union. And then I wanted to move home, live in Western New York near my family. It was a couple of years after 9/11 when I graduated. So a few years of being single in the big city, and I just wanted to be home near family. So that's what I did. I moved home and I started working for a family friend. And really what happened in this mid-sized law firm was, the billable hours and the misogyny. I mean, I'm a more sensitive, creative person. And also I'm a relationship builder. And so being treated as less than, I was just a rage inside. So something had to give, and I definitely had no idea there was coaching or communities or any sort of support. So that was totally not on my radar. But what was on my radar was my networking skills. And so I just began having coffee with every power broker in town. And I live in Rochester, New York. It's a smaller Midwest city. And, you're one or two heartbeats away from anyone you want to meet. I mean, it's not a tiny city. It's like 1 million people. But what can I say? I worked every angle. I spoke with everyone.
And so then what kind of work did you do then? Where did that lead you?
Yeah, I really found a real interest in real estate development. And so I started working for a real estate developer who was very aligned with my worldview. The work itself was less interesting. I just became very interested in real estate.
And so like affordable housing or like
I started out doing more generic real estate development work. So it was like industrial warehouses and commercial.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, I wanted to do work that was more valuable. So I got into affordable housing, and then in time, urban infill, and then in time, renewables.
Okay. Very good.
That's where I was most recently. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So varied practice and time. And what was a peak career experience? And it could be in your business or it could have been when you were practicing.
Yeah, a peak career experience. I learned that one of our key institutions in downtown Rochester was wanting to expand. And I also, by working in the real estate development business, I knew who I really respected, who was doing really, really quality work, meaning mixed income, mixed use. It's a very, very complicated landscape. It's a very high skill set. And so I befriended that person as well. Befriended the institution, befriended this person, and then was like, I have a little introduction you might like.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of like how I think of you also as sort of like a business mentor, networking matchmaker.
Yeah.
Do you think of yourself that way?
Yeah, I do. And I'm still, it's just fun. This is a fun
It has connotations, right?
It has connotations, right. Yes. And it's like, well, who's saying it? But you're off the hook.
Okay.
So, I prefer the word deal maker. This was a humongous, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the whole total project cost, but I mean, this was an enormous.
Yeah, multi-million dollar. Almost. And like you changed people's lives. I think of you as a super connector also. So maybe that's a term you gets less, has less mishigas with it.
Yeah. Totally.
So I tell the women that I work with, not everyone is hardwired the same way with networking and to be a connector and to find those people like you who are hubs. I think of you like an airport hub. You're like a Chicago O'Hare, right? But what I think is so beautiful is like, it is who you are and you're leveraging that now in your business. Like you said, networking is at the nexus of everything that you're doing.
It is. It is. And really, as the world around us is changing rapidly, the word that keeps coming into mind a little more is access.
Yeah.
How am I able to kind of get behind the curtain or behind the rope when other people can't? Without question, I'm white or white presenting or whatnot, and there's advantages. I'm not talking about privilege in this moment. I'm talking more about what skills do I use? And it's something I'm
Right.
so passionate about. So
Right.
I love helping lawyers move away from that transactional mindset in their networking and move towards what's called a
Yeah.
more relational mindset.
Give an example or like a story of a client you've helped shift their mindset that way, and what impact did it have for them?
Right now, what's coming to mind on that, just the way you asked it, is really like a hybrid of a bunch of people. When you hop on a call, when you're looking for a job, when you're looking for an opportunity, that cynical lawyer mind, well, they're just going to think I want something from them. Yes and no. I mean, lead with what you can give them. Lead with what you're interested in their work. Is there a way you can be a part of it? You do have a question for them. I mean, there's so many ways we can lead in a very generous, kind way that isn't asking for something. And it's that black and white thinking trickling into our networking worldview that's really dangerous. So that's where I'm trying to heal that and help us get back to, it's a mentality of reciprocity.
Totally. This is another place we're very aligned, as I teach that also. And as people are exploring new opportunities, and to be generous, but also there are people like you who like really thrive and love helping people connect.
Oh, yeah.
And connecting each other. But I think this black and white thinking is so pervasive among the women lawyers I speak with and work with. And it's definitely something, that they struggle to shift their worldview around.
Yes.
And it's so ingrained in the culture of law, right? It's like you're either winning or losing. You're either at a big firm or there aren't any smart people anywhere else in the world. So how do you help the people you work with overcome the black and white thinking?
So, when you start a community, they tell you some of the books, I don't know if you've come across this, you need a common enemy. Well, I'm a Buddhist. What is our common enemy? We're not here to take down the man. We're not here to take down an institution in particular. So to me, it's fear. It's black and white thinking. Like, to really hit it on the nose, it's adversarial thinking.
Yeah, and that's legal culture. I mean, for me, I don't feel like the women I work with, I don't feel like there's a common enemy, because many of the women I work with stay in big law. They stay in the practice. It's not like the enemy is being a lawyer, not at all. I think the common enemy is shame and the internalized story that we're supposed to be something other than we are. We're supposed to want something other than we do.
Right. The enemy is distorted thinking.
How do you help them see their thinking? Like if they come to you and they're like, I just need a mentor, I just need a new job.
The women who transform the quickest and go the furthest really dig into the tools I put in front of them. So, one of them is, and it sounds so basic and simple, I always say you rewire your brain one damn neuron at a time.
Yeah. Amen.
One conversation. That's why you get such better results in a group experience, because you're going to have to do it continually. So that, that 3-hour little intensive that I offer is a quick, when you hop on a call, when you're looking for a job, when you're looking for an opportunity, that cynical lawyer mind, well, they're just going to think I want something from them. Yes and no. I mean, lead with what you can give them. Lead with what you're interested in their work. Is there a way you can be a part of it? You do have a question for them. I mean, there's so many ways we can lead in a very generous, kind way that isn't asking for something. And it's that black and white thinking trickling into our networking worldview that's really dangerous. So that's where I'm trying to heal that and help us get back to, it's a mentality of reciprocity. So that's one. The next one is gratitude. And gratitude, again, we can do it alone and it's very powerful, but it's more powerful when we do it with others.
Yeah.
So we practice gratitude. There's something about being witnessed, and really when you say, not this generic, like, oh, I'm grateful for my friends and my health and such. I mean, that's great, but specifically grateful for the work you're doing and the particular thing that you're struggling with. And here's what's good about the struggle. And here's what's good about the work, and really like honing in. So celebrating your wins, gratitude. And then we get into all kinds of healthy mindset habits.
So there's meditation, then there's mindfulness. And do you do like intentional thought work, like using a thought model? Do you do anything like that?
I lean really heavy. I mean, other modalities I dip into is journaling. I love journaling exercises. Yeah. And I'm getting more, I can't wait to tell you this, I'm getting more into art, encouraging women to make art so that they can play and relax.
Yeah.
and get out of that
That's so good.
perfectionist. We're
Yeah.
going to be cramming. I mean, stuff that there is finger painting, stuff there's no right way, just so we can have fun again and get out of this binary
Yeah.
good or bad. I suck at this.
Yeah. I
Stuff we
can't
should
draw
learn
I
out.
can't draw a stick figure, right. So
Yeah.
and Rachel I think is sharing this with me. I think you're sharing this with me because I run a mastermind now called the Creators Circle where we go through the Julia Cameron book The Artist's Way. And this is actually my third year running it. And it's like I have chills just saying that. And like women, someone started saying I can't draw a stick figure and now she made her business plan as like a vision board. As like a trifold like massive vision board with
Yeah.
magazines and she's like that's my business plan.
I love
So
it.
let's talk a little bit more about that group experience because I think community is one of the things that scares people the most. Showing up in community, being vulnerable, it's not something I have, and so I don't have the belief that women aren't kind to each other. I know it happens, but it's just not the framework I hold. And so I don't see it.
I agree. I'm shocked when I hear women say that. Women lawyers are not nice or what about mean girls? And it's like, no, we're all someone's mean girl, sweetie. Yeah. Like we're all the victim and the perpetrator.
Oh
so
my
like,
God. I think that's so true. I just got chills. Yeah. I just got chills. So totally. As much as we don't want to do that, but I do think it can be when people come to me and they come into Will, they're often like, oh, I didn't know about that community thing. I didn't know about this community call. So you wanted me to get on a community call in the middle of the day on a Wednesday. But then I think that like what you were saying, I was reminded of how we all have mirror neurons. So when one woman is celebrating and is being open and vulnerable and is sharing her experience of isolation and fear, like it totally just like softens the space for someone else to step in.
100%. I love it. And I'm sure you've had this experience happen in your space too. It moves me every single time when someone says something vulnerable. Another woman, of course, jumps right in to say something, offering comfort, encouragement, support. And then they go, oh, wait, I struggle with the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Even as I say it, I can feel my tear ducts starting. Like it's so incredible to see people realize that they have the capacity to access love inside of them towards themselves.
Totally.
We already know that we can be nicer to others than we are to ourselves. That's why the celebrating the wins is so important, and the gratitude.
Totally.
Both of those help you start to bring the love inside.
Totally. I'm looking around because my book, Self-Compassion, is right here. My Kristen Neff book, Self-Compassion.
Awesome.
So yeah, it is. I have chills like when someone says, oh, the thing you just said has been the noise in my head. I have those same exact thoughts. Yeah. And when you see yourself and you're loving and kind and able to be compassionate to her, it just opens the ability for you to receive that for yourself too.
Yeah. And then the more we can cultivate that, the more we can go back, let's, stick with the example of the woman who works in a big law firm and there's toxic behavior and so on. The more that they see, that we're all the victim and the perpetrator and that we all have something that we're hiding and some pain that we're carrying and all of that, then the other people that we don't serve, like the male people, our clients can look at those people and say, oh, well, maybe they just got a scary diagnosis. Maybe they're being a jerk because they don't realize their own privilege, instead of vilifying everyone.
Yeah. So
it's very isolating. The more we think everyone's wicked, the more we feel alone and desperate. Right. The more we can see ourselves and others on a more literal networking level, we have a lot more opportunity, but on a profound spiritual level, we feel a deep connectedness. It's really hard to articulate. I love how you get me.
I know. And I'm really hoping that other people get the power of this also, because so how do you help, the women who overcome the fear of joining a group call where they're going to be asked to share vulnerable things?
Yeah. Well, I lead the groups and I go first, and it is no problem for me to say something vulnerable. And so usually there's someone who's somewhere on the continuum that, they can either pipe in next or they can say something. And not just that I lead, but we don't go from zero to polar plunge. One of the first activities is share something on your desk. When it's very intentional. We go a little more until it does happen that people bring in really intense stuff from their
Yeah.
childhood or,
Yeah.
things that happen they're deeply ashamed of with their careers or whatnot.
Yeah.
We all have made mistakes. So, normalizing that is just such a joy.
I agree. In talking about this and the way you were talking about it before, I was struck upon the suffering that I see so many women lawyers experiencing. Suffering from anxiety, suffering from feeling like they're not good enough, suffering from wanting to maybe get out of a place where they're not happy, but feeling afraid, the golden handcuffs, the black box of compensation or banking partner and all. I don't know, I just wanted to, that came up for me. I'd love to just hear you speak about what you see as some of the ways that the women you serve are suffering.
Everything you said, I mean, it all, the words that come to my mind from my own journey is fear-based control. It's
Mm.
fear. They want to
What is,
control everything to try to manage the fears
mm,
they have. And really, I mean, this is kind of next level stuff, but really like finding the fears. I don't teach somatic work, but really like finding the fears and relating to
yeah,
them in a different way. That's the voice of like maybe anxious parents you had back when you were little,
yeah,
that's how your brain started to wire from their fears. And so that zero sum thinking and that panic about the state of the world and all of it
yeah,
is partially adult you playing out what little kid you
yeah.
learned at some point. One of my
Beautiful.
clients is single. Her parents always telling her, he's so concerned. She, how could she be single at this age? Da 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 da. And hearing her get to a place of saying back, "That's your issue. That's an issue. I'm good with my choices, and I didn't ask your opinion, but thank you for caring. Maybe you could journal about those big feelings."
Here, Dad, here's a journal and a pen. Yeah. Because that's your is. I love that. I've never heard that before. That's your issue. That's
That's an
issue.
issue.
It's an issue, like pointing a finger, like that's yours.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah, not
like,
an ish me. So I love that. It's like, but also greeting that person with love,
yeah,
because that's really the mentality we're going to need to cultivate towards our inner critic is like, thank you for trying to protect me. It must be exhausting. You've got such concern. And I see you and I appreciate you. And I've got it.
oh my God, Rachel, we've never talked about this before, but that's like exactly one of the core tools I teach inside of Well is like the first inner critic tool. That's exactly pretty much. And that's a skill, right?
It's a learned skill.
It's a learned skill. And we're never taught how to talk to ourselves. We're never taught how
Mhm.
to regulate our nervous systems. I'm not a somatic experiencing coach, but I've had people come into my community and, I do use some somatics in my coaching, but these are things we can learn and grow and get better at.
Yeah.
We're recording this just literally less than a week after Trump was reelected. And what are you doing to take care of yourself in this time?
Thank you for asking that. I am pulling out all the stops. I'm a very deeply intentional person, so like it's very deliberate everything I'm
Yeah.
doing. I'm really leaning into it's the name of the business. I'm leaning into the power of community big time. I mean, his campaign is built on fear and vilifying other groups
Yeah.
and pitting us against one another. And so how can I continue to surround myself with people who, like me, want to
Yeah.
see the good in others, are going to study how others experience life, are going to read books from other people's vantage points, and so on. So very intentional there,
Yeah.
as well as launching some programs myself in that space, but it's only been a few days. The second thing would be trying to up-level my commitment to exercise and
Yeah.
meditation and yoga and all that stuff, the more kind of full spectrum well-being stuff. So, getting out in nature and playing with
Yeah.
the dog and playing with the kids. I had an invitation to go out just last night to spend the night at a relative's lake house. And
Yeah.
really the real treat was not even the lake. The real treat was the little kids that I could play with.
Yeah.
Because,
Beautiful.
I just needed to play. I was just getting like, I noticed as the clouds shifted and became very dark. And it's funny, I've spoken with others in really, very emotionally intimate communities
Yeah.
about our inner critic roaring.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's some sort of, I think it's fear. And also here's what's coming. And
Yeah.
oh yeah, not just a critic about my role in the election process or all of that, but just critical in general. I think it's just fear-based thinking it's just kind of like this dark force. I mean, it just breaks my heart how some Black and brown friends in particular feel very unsupported and terrified right now, as I do for myself and for them and the world. But the more I can bring us together, the more I can show people how to build friendship across differences, the more I can build friendships across differences, the more we can kind of learn about one another and, not fall into that trap of, the Republicans versus the Democrats versus each other, the
red versus blue,
groups within. So that's the road to nowhere.
Yeah. What I so appreciate about what you just said and what you're doing is that you are leaning into you. You are leaning into your strengths, your gifts and talents, being very deliberate about what you're intending to do and how you're intending to be through this, and using your gifts to bring people together. And I got chills when you said that. So I see that also as divine confirmation that you're on the right path. I also had an experience where one of the women I work with she just became the board president of a national immigration legal center. And I just started crying when I heard that. And then I got this idea. I was like, if you want, I will coach you pro bono. That's my contribution. I can support your leadership. And I'm sharing that not to toot my own horn, but because it just felt like, okay, this is a way I can contribute in a way that's aligned with my gifts and talents. And that's what I hear you intending to do. And what, I want to just plant the seed. We don't all have to be out there doing X, Y, Z, and you don't have to save the world on your own. But if we're all just really showing up, how powerful is that going to be?
I completely agree. And actually, I'll share a story right back of that kind of indirect helping more love and light into the world, we could say, more unity. I don't think I've said on the show, really. I'm very passionate about this anti-racist work and just continue to explore how I can show up in ways, not just how I can show up individually, but how can I use my connecting skills. So I brought together a number of white women about a month ago that to me are doing super innovative work to move the needle. Just connecting them to one another expands everyone's networks exponentially. But back to what you said, one of them, I don't want to name her. I don't.
Don't.
I need her permission, but
don't.
I mean, but I donated my services to someone who has my exact same philosophy about how white and Black women can move the needle on racism together.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And it's rooted in friendship. And we each had arrived at this. It's so fascinating. In completely different life journeys, arrived at the same conclusion. And so I was like, let me donate my services to you and help you articulate so that you can get really big financing to put this in front of big institutions. And, I'm passionate about what you're trying to do, so I'll stick around. This is
nice. That's beautiful.
I felt like that to me is leveraged networking. That's like going to the ultimate level, because if I can connect her to someone's uncle's brother who, is the number 2 at Google or whatever,
and Rachel, it's such a valuable skill, talent, innate gift you have, whatever you want to call it, because networking is where so many of the women I work with really struggle. They go through the first kind of 3 months of my program, and then that's all the internal self-reflection, discovering what else they could do and what lights them up and their strengths. And then to get out there and talk to people is where it becomes a slog. But I just it lights me up to hear you so effortlessly knowing what you bring and doing it. It's like water flowing. And so for anyone listening, if you're struggling with networking or thinking you should do X, Y, and Z, just know you're not alone in that either. It is the persistent belief most of the people I work with struggle with is I'm bothering them. I'm going to be bothering someone by reaching out to them.
That's so tragic that they think they're going to lower their light based on that story they're telling themselves. A way to reframe that is Elena's a friend I haven't met yet. I've got to talk to Elena because, if she knows what I'm doing and I know what she's doing a little better, who knows what could happen?
Who knows what could happen? That's a beautiful reframe. And so, in coaching, I've got coaches on my team, help them come up with their own reframe, right? But that's a beautiful one to offer, and just you model it. Because this is how Rachel and I started, right? We didn't know each other. She saw me on the internet. Someone introduced us. And now we chat, we support each other in our businesses. So
100%. And all your listeners should know, when I first heard of Elena, it was before I even started the business. I did research, and, she's a superstar on the internet. And I was then my aunt, I told you this, but I want to tell your listeners, my aunt, who's a retired solo practitioner out in Los Angeles across the country, sends me an email she got from her women's bar association, or just her bar association, I guess it's her women's probably, that you were going to be speaking. Then a client sends me something about your retreat with Jessica Medina, who's now a friend. And it's
yes.
all of this just built you up and made it more, created this differential between us that I get how people feel. So I think that's where my empathy comes in.
Totally. And I'm so happy to connect with people on LinkedIn when they reach out to me like you did. I'm genuinely like, oh, thank you so much. Because I'm just here trying to show up big enough so that the people who need my help can find me.
That's right.
And I have my own mindset shit and drama I work on all the time too. And I get coaching and all the things. Like you said, you go first, I go first too, and get my own mind cleared and my own heart realigned and open so that I can show up.
100%. Yeah, no, we have to do the work. Otherwise it's like, do we even believe in it? Of course coaches should be coached.
Of course. All right, let's start to wind down. This has been juicy. Okay, so tell people where they can find you and follow you, all the things.
I got a special gift for you guys. So, people can find me at interconnectedus.com. They can also, by all means, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. I love connecting with women lawyers. Occasionally people who are not those. But I would love to connect with anyone who's in your world. Your friends are my friends.
Yeah.
So that would be
and vice
great.
versa. Yeah.
And if they come to Interconnected Us, they'll see a bunch of free resources. And if they sign up for my newsletter, they'll see, the events that I'm putting on. So there's lots of stuff, and I'm constantly testing out different things to see what people really, really need. Because I have a million ideas, but it's like, you got to put it out there. So
yes,
I practice what I preach, right? That it's all one big experiment. We're just having fun here. And what else? Then in particular, because I know you do have a bunch of people who are wanting to start their own business or, maybe really gun it within the firm or whatnot, I'll create a page, interconnectedus.com/will.
Okay, good.
And if they go there, they can download the guide to how to build your own advisory board.
Yeah. And I love that because it's not something I offer. And I think everyone, whether you're starting a business or trying to escalate in your career, everyone could use an advisory board. And we all kind of have these sort of more informal advisory boards. And so how to think about it and be more intentional about it without being like heavy-handed.
Yeah. I mean, for some people, it's a regular group that meets once a month and it has an agenda and has an objective and looks at financials. And for others, it's a download about how to approach a mentor. It's a very fluid definition. So, I just would encourage everyone, don't get hung up on it. If there's someone you're not calling, like Elena Deutsch, just download the guide. They'll give you a little, some scripts.
All right, good. All right. Some scripts. Hi, I heard you and Rachel on your podcast. I'd like to connect. There you go. You got you.
And you help me. Yeah.
But I think even just that more formalized advisory board, it's very powerful because it's really about taking yourself seriously and what you have to offer seriously and putting that structure in place. Even just for myself, I could see how that could be really like, oh, I'm really taking my whatever title you have or give yourself very seriously.
It's really thrilling when a colleague downloads it because it's like, oh, it gives me a little wink who's really serious because almost none of us have them. I put it off myself for a couple of years until 6 months ago. And then just the thought, who would I ask and what would I show them and what's the point and what am I here to do? That prompted me to write out a vision statement and then a vision document and then a this and then that, and it really put me in a whole other track. Just that challenging myself to tackle that scary question in here.
Yes. Well, as we've been saying, I'll go first. So, all right. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Love you, Elena.
This has been a pleasure. Love you too. Thank you for being here in the world and being who you are.
Pleasure. Congrats on the new podcast.